I'm going to put together for you guys is how to model cave meshes, okay? So really simple. Let's not make our life a little more complicated than it has to be. So I'm going to go to display show all for just a second, okay? And let me hide all this other junk, okay? Hide this shit for now. And let me hide these pieces. Alright, screw it, that's good enough. Now, I could have done it in Unreal, but for the sake of time, let's just go ahead and make a cylindrical primitive. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I want it to be surrounding the mesh of my floor. So I already have that guy set up, so I'm going to V-click and snap him in, right? And what I'm going to do is really fast on this scale. Okay, so with those right there, I'm just going to take that to, let's just say, 30. Nope. Let's try that. Let's make that 100. Nope. Okay, cool. Got myself a cave mesh right now. One thing I was going to say is that if you look at the faces, display, polygons, face normals, right now the faces are facing outwards. We need to reverse that and make them face inwards. So let's go ahead and normals reverse. So that way those faces are now facing all inwards now. Okay, see how they're now coming in from the center face and pointing in? We're good. And let's go to display, polygons, face normals. Okay, let's check that. And so now from here, we can start with a much better idea of what we're going to need to model. So it doesn't need to be so big that we don't see anything else. So let's go to display show all for just a second. Okay, so everything's going to fit within my environment just nicely. So okay, 100's pretty good. We can leave everything there. Display show all. Perfect. We're not clipping anything. This will be the main area. Okay, great. So here's the cave mesh that we have. Okay. Now, what we'll need to do is we'll need to break this cave mesh up into several pieces. As a matter of fact, it's actually good that I'm doing this demo because I need to do it myself. So looking at my cave mesh, I can see that there's a cylindrical cave kind of happening here down in this environment, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and see if we can knock out some of these holes. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, just to make my life easier, I can always recreate this top and bottom face, but let's go ahead and go to the faces. Let's delete the tops and bottoms. All right, that way at least I'm able to see. And from here, we'll need to start making extrusions in the caves itself. So let's go ahead and insert edge loop. Let's do multiples. And we'll just cut some simple holes for now. Let's just say we want 2 holes on each side. Okay, so from the center of my back cave, I want maybe 1 hole there. Okay, let's just start with that 1 hole for now. Okay, and what I'm also going to do is just to make my life a little easier, let's go ahead and break this cave up into a half. I'm sorry, into a quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And let's go ahead and start detailing this one piece out. Insert edge loop. Alright. And let's go ahead and start pulling some verts. And I'm going to C-snap them so they still stay along the confines of this mesh. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more detail. Okay. Okay, I'm C-clicking. Alright, cool. So it looks like a pretty good cave mesh that I'm going to work with. Okay, now using these edges that I've done, I'm now going to shift, right click, extrude edge. And let's see if we can punch this dude out a little bit. Okay. And let's go ahead and mix a little bit more. Whoopsie. see if we can punch this dude out a little further. Alright, and that way that looks like a pretty decent cave mesh that we can work with, right? And we need it to be a little more open and nice, so what I'm going to do, I'm also going to bevel this edge out. So I'm going to go to bevel edge. There we go. And so now it looks a little more cave-like, right? And I can leave that open, so I now have some like some cave light shafts kind of shooting in from, you know, later on down the line when I start adding my lights. And this will look pretty cool. And then I can also add in some like little, like, well, I believe I could be wrong, but in terms of like geology, when you have rock formations that hang down, that's stalactites, and rock formations that cone from the ground up, that's stalagmites, right? Anyone, am I wrong in that?
Not sure.
Okay, well, yeah, those are the two. So I believe stalactites are coming down, stalagmites going up. And you can insert those a little bit, and so there you go. And so by building just one of those, I can basically have one cave mesh right there. So I'm only looking for 2 holes in this scene, and I'll help you guys out. That's what she said. Okay. So with that said, let's go into this next piece. Okay, and I left my center pivot still there. So let's go into duplicate, and let's rotate this guy 90 degrees. Okay. Now this one can be a little bit more. This one can be a different shape. We don't necessarily need to have it the same size. So for this one, let's just say, I don't know. Let's make the whole. So let's adjust so it's pointing more towards the bat cave a little bit. And let's go ahead and adjust this one down lower. Okay. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna grab all these verts and push them down. Okay, because I still want those verts to kind of match up a little bit. So if anything, I only want to mess with these guys. And I'll mess with these dudes a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. If anything, I can just scale this maybe up a little bit more. So I'm adding a little bit of difference to it. Okay. And there we have it. Okay. And so one cave is one cave mesh. Actually, you know what? Shit, I just realized. One cave hole should be a little bit higher than the other. So let's go ahead and raise that one up, and let's drop this one down. Okay. So that when we get into our ZBrush, this shit's gonna look really good. Okay. And with that said, let's go ahead and I'm gonna shift click. I'm gonna just temporarily, I'm gonna duplicate for the time being. I'm going to rotate around 180 degrees. Now I don't want to have complete lighting. Whoops. Let's go to 270. Okay. Now if I wanted to have like 4 cave meshes surrounding it, I could. But in the meantime, see how they all snap in perfectly? For the time being, if I just do one cave mesh, I can do them all and duplicate them again. So if anything, from a modeling standpoint, this will work. And if I need to, I can just close this hole up. If anything, tell you what, let's do this. Why don't we just do a complete opposite? So this cave and this cave, let's see. So that's the higher one. And these are the lower ones. Okay. Okay, cool. And that should be it for now. And by doing 2 cave meshes, I can essentially populate my entire wall scene. Okay, and this is how I would handle it. Okay. Now, if let's just say I wanted to have a wall that's just not caved out, that's okay too. Let's go ahead and let's hop in there and do that. So let's go into edge ring, shift delete edge. I'm sorry, faces. I'm gonna go to right click, grow selection, hit delete. And here we are. And here's the cool thing about this is that if I just adjust these edges, I'm sorry, let's just adjust these verts for a second. Okay, I'm going to delete these edges for the time being. Alright. And I'm going to come in here and just patch this up. Merge vert tool. And just to make my life a little easier, I can go ahead and append poly. Okay. I'm going to come in here and reset my tool. Okay. Merge vert. Now, realistically, I actually don't need this many verts because technically the edges are already snapped up, so I can just remove. I mean, if I want to have them work together, that's fine. But in essence, I really don't have to have these guys all selected. Okay, and there you have it. So I have three cave meshes. I have, you know, high hole, small hole, flat surface, and I can just do, you know, 2 of each if I need to. Okay, so that's what I'm saying is that don't work. You know, I'm gonna repeat it every time. Don't work harder, work smarter. All right. Does that help you out, Chris? There you go.